from my experience and observation, it seems like a larger percentage of Cubans, specifically white T Cubans, have very white T supremacist views. Yes or no? You as a Cuban yourself.
Yes, yes, of course.
Elaborate, please.
Okay, so like most people don't even think like in most countries in Latin America, we still have the same issues as white supremacy goes, and racism and all that. So pretty much in Cuba specifically, all the castas that were invented by Spain, they still affect us to this day, especially in countries like Cuba and Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, stuff like that, where we as black people are used as tokens, as culture, la mulata, musically, all that stuff.
Mhm.
But we don't have no say so politically or socially anywhere. I mean, I remember there's only one dude in the Cuban government right now. That's only black, and his last name is Lasso. You can look him up, and he's been there like forever, used as a token by the Cuban government. And in the society in Cuba, we have the same phrases like "mejorar la raza." And I used to, when I was growing up, I remember everybody calling me Bembom because my lips, and that was something that since I was little, they would call me that. And also, I remember one time I was trying to grow my hair, and you know, my hair I got 4C texture, and I remember they used to call me frijoles, my hair, because it would curl like a frijol, so they would call it frijol. So most of the people there are white teeth. They're known for doing Halloween. They dressed up as like the KKK and everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's still there. I mean, even Fidel Castro, his dad was from Spain, and most of the people in Cuba that represent, like the government, all that stuff,
Of
the white tea, and they're really racist towards non-white tea people.
course, of
Yeah.
course. So I asked the white T Cuban guy. I said, is there any racism in Cuba? And of course, he said that, oh, not like there is in the U.S. I told him that that's what all white T Latinos say too, though, in Latin American countries. But the reality is, you ask brown and black people in Latin American countries, there's a no, there is, but it's always the white T Latinos in those countries. They always claim, oh, aquí no hay racismo. But I'll let you go ahead and give your input.
Yeah, I would say it's more straightforward, especially because they don't sugarcoat it. I mean, they will tell it to your face, and they even get mad at you when you tell them yo no tengo pelo malo. When you tell them yo no tengo pelo malo, they will argue. What do you mean you don't have bar hair? I mean, look at you, look at yourself. Entonces there is a man, it's crazy. I have a lot to unpack. But one interesting thing, like let's say for example, like a black dude gets with a white tea woman, especially blonde hair, blue eyes, stuff like that. Like they will say coronaste, mi negro, shaldo. That's a term they use in Cuba, shaldo. Shaldo coronaste. Like
Coronaste.
coronaste, because you
Uh-huh.
have a white tea girl.
Yeah.
And they will say that same thing to a black woman that has that that's dating like a white tea man.
It's you won. You
Yeah,
won.
you won your prize. That's a big prize. Yeah,
Yeah.
you won it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it seems like that's in all of Latin America. Even if we word it differently, like you guys saying coronaste, we have different ways of expressing the same sentiment that whenever brown or black people in Latin America, when we get with a white T person, is, oh my God, like you, damn, good for you,
yeah,
man. You see, you're smart. You see, you're doing the right things here. I think we all can agree that in all of Latin America, because one of the things that has always just made my eyes roll back is when I hear other people of Latin America, when I share my perspective and experience regarding Mexico of mejorar la raza, uh, and other people, whether it be in Puerto Rico or wherever, they're like, "Oh, damn, you guys are racist. We don't have that here." Like, you guys have that there. It's
yeah. Of
everywhere.
course. It
Right.
is everywhere. Uh, and in Cuba, I mean, there's a lot of things that goes on. Because even like the darkest person like will make fun of some other black person just because of their skin color, of their hair texture, stuff like that. There is a video of this little girl. She might would have been like 9 years old, and she was dark skinned, and she was making fun of this reggaetonero, this Cuban reggaetonero known Chocolate. He's like really big in Cuba, and she was making fun of him for being dark, and she was telling him like you gotta be grateful because all the white tea women that you date, because even though you are famous and all that, ellas te están haciendo caso, so you gotta be grateful and all that. And I was like, what? And she was little, she was probably like nine years old.
Wow. And she already had that mentality, huh?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people underestimate how early on we start developing internal colorism. There's a video out there that is very well known, but it's old, where a bunch of children that are black, brown, and white, they put a doll in front of them, a black doll and then a white doll, and they ask all
Yep.
these little kids, these little kids, 4 or 5 years old, the most 6 years of age, and they ask them which doll is the pretty one, and they all choose the white one, and which is not the one that's pretty, and they choose the black one, and then they're also asked what makes this one pretty, and so you understand by their answers and their body language that they already been programmed even at such an early age. We underestimate how early on we're programmed by what we see in the media. And the media has a great say in the propaganda that they push. And I've heard parents say things like, oh, when my kid gets to like 8 or 9, I'm going to start teaching. I'm like, you're too late.
Yep.
You're too late already by then. You have to start teaching them from when they open their eyes, because the mass media is already pushing propaganda, YT standard of beauty propaganda. You think that you're going to wait till they start talking and stuff? Oh, you too late. You're too late for that.